Hey everybody, my name's Amanda. I'm brand new here, and it's currently Sunday. So that means it's not time to meet the press. It means to actually plan the meals out this week and maybe do some freezer meals too. So the next few weeks, I'm going to be, super busy, and then I start my job. My job is part-time. It's the one I really wanted. I got it. I'm so thrilled. It's like 4 minutes from home, maybe 7 by foot. You know, it's really close. It's hours that work with my family schedule, and I'm just happy to have a reason to get out of the house. So, yay. But for the next few weeks, I kind of have to be prepared for the days. Sorry, I'm just dropping my pen everywhere. The days when, I'm just really busy, and I'll be working late and loving my crock pot and freezer meals. So, like the ones that you put in the foil, I've never done those before. So this is going to be new. Okay, so let's plan out the meals. So I have a list. I have barbecue pork, some barbecue cranberry chicken. I have orange chicken. That's maybe not something we'll do. We might do a frozen version of that. Sloppy Joe's, spaghetti or a pasta meal, and chicken tacos. So on my calendar, I have the evenings that I'm going to need to worry about meals circled, for sure, freezer meals. And so I'm thinking, weather-wise, this one will be a yucky day. So I will do pasta bake. And part of what I need on my left is I need to have leftovers. So that way, when I'm working the next day, especially these days, I can have lunch too. So I will do, so that's a pasta bake, and I should do that in a different color. I'll do blue. Sorry, I am one of those people that I like different colors. On Tuesday, the weather's going to be still decent, so I'm going to do barbecue pork because it's summery, and I have some in the freezer. Okay, and I know on Monday night I need to use up my ham from last week's meal plan that I didn't do. And that will be cheddar broccoli, and I'll throw ham in there. Okay, and on Wednesday, I still have my andouille, so I think I'm gonna do the red beans and rice. Okay, so Friday, that will be leftovers, and that's a maybe. Actually, I'm gonna change that to leftover night on Wednesday, and that's gonna be the red beans and rice. And just so you guys know, I am using basically what I already have in the house. There might be some things I'll need, like, I don't really know what I'll need because I have pretty good pantry and I grow a lot of my own vegetables. So on this day, I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but I'll do a barbecue, cranberry chicken, So that it would be Monday, on Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't know, but I think I'm going to do chicken tacos on Thursday. And then Friday we'll do sloppy joes because it's been a long time since we had sloppy joes. And Wednesdays are my leftover days. I don't know what I'll do that Tuesday. Maybe I'll do that as the orange chicken. Yeah, so we have meal plans, and then on Saturdays we usually go out. And that's today. And so we're having enchiladas today. And that's because they're easy, because we bought them. We went to a Mexican grocery store yesterday to try their takeout, and it was delicious. I don't know what we'll do on the 4th, but that is a blood draw. We're donating blood. So we'll likely get some fast food breakfast, and then I don't know. That's kind of be wing it. Whatever. Or maybe we'll do pizza. So for the next 2 weeks, I pretty much have our meals planned out, and life is good. So if you've done freezer meals before, you know you need freezer bags. I bought these from Walmart. It's not anything fancy. It's just a Ziploc, but from Walmart. And I've had them for a while because I buy them in bulk. The next thing you need, a marker. Mostly because then you could tell what's in. So the very first thing, I have some water on the stove, wanting to boil. It's going to get there. But the next thing I'm going to do is, well, label my bag. So this is what we do. We put the name on the bag and the date. Because in case you don't use it right away, you got that. So this homemade salsa. It's been sitting in the fridge for like 2 weeks maybe. So I'm going to give it a good shake. This, frozen chicken breasts. Nothing crazy. And this is taco seasoning. You could use whatever packet or whatever you have. We chose to get this because we bought half a cow. And, well, we just had to use it up. And so we were just like, hey, it's simple. I have some scissors. I'm opening my chicken. If you have the manual dexterity, you could probably just rip. But I'm a princess. So, chicken breast. I'm just going to put 3 chicken breasts in here. I'm going to add the salsa on top. Good Lord, that's a big boot. Maybe I'm only going to do 2 because that's huge. Maybe they have another small one. No, they have a little piece. I'll throw that in too. So all I'm going to do, after I wash my hands real quick. So what I'm going to do is totally cheat. This is called easiest thing in the world. Well, darn close. So take some taco seasoning, however much you want. I'm just going to keep going. Probably would have been easier to use a measuring spoon, but didn't think of that till just now. Just keep going until you think it's enough. Gosh, that smells good. And then pour your salsa on top. And looking at that, I think it was chili. Awesome. Okay, so here's the important thing of the labeling. Here's an example. What I thought was salsa, I was looking at it, it was chili. It's been a week since we had chili. Always label. Why? Because people like me go into the fridge and say, hey, I think it's salsa or whatever, and it turns out it was chili, and if we would have eaten it, warmed it and eaten it, who knows what kind of result we would have had. Would have been bad times. I wish I would have fed it to my husband right now because he put it away. Grr. So what we did is we washed off the chicken, and we put it on a plate, and we're gonna make a new bag. And I'm going to use store-bought salsa, because then it's one more thing out of my fridge. Yeah. I have a thing where I love to use things up, and I get a high out of it. Last night was an example. So at like 1 in the morning, I got an idea. I had some pumpkin that was open that I needed to use. And I'm like, steel cut oats, pumpkin, milk, water. I have dried fruit. I have pumpkin pie spice. I have cinnamon. Crock pot. And so I made, at 1 o'clock this morning, I made breakfast. Of course, we didn't eat it till like 10. It was delicious. But because there's only 2 of us, I made 8 breakfasts for the future. So there's some meal prep right there. So, new bag. Okay, so rinsed off chicken breast because salsa was chili, not salsa. So, once again, might actually learn a lesson here. Throw a couple tablespoons of taco seasoning, or however much you feel is right. I'm probably going to do 2 or 3 taco seasonings because, you know, a whole lot easier this time around. Feeling so smart. And so, chicken breast, cool, taco seasoning, and the last of the store-bought salsa. Yes. And what I'll do is I'll probably store this upside down on the counter while we do the rest. But that is chicken tacos for 2. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a cranberry barbecue. So I have a can of cranberry sauce. It's been hanging out in my cupboard since November. I have a bottle of barbecue sauce. Anything you want. So I'm going to add, while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to add my seasonings, but I'm also going to add instructions. Add 1 cup water because I'm adding the bouillon cube. I'm also going to put on here serve with rice. Okay, I finally got the bouillon cube done. Score! And I'm just going to use the last 3 chicken breasts because this will also be leftover lunchy stuff. Right? And there, one more thing out of the cupboard. Boom. So the next thing we do, well, open the can, open the bottle, throw it in there, freeze it. After fighting with the can opener for, I don't know, forever it feels like, I got the can open. And no one was here to cheer me on. The hubs left the room when it happened. And sometimes when you're dealing with those cans of gelatinous goo, you need a butter knife to, you know, help you get it out. So what I'm going to do is just actually break it up a little bit in here. And then I'm just going to pour in the barbecue sauce. I took the little stopper dealie off, and because I'm literally just pouring. And there, my friends, is freezer meal number 2. And just like the salsa, I'm going to let this sit upside down so we can get every last drop. And I don't know if you hear that, but I hear the stove has some boiling goodness on top. So, and rustling bags over here. That's another thing you might want to do is rustle up the bag just to cover the chicken. Because this wasn't. It's easy. It's a way to freeze and marinate all at the same time. Hey guys, so here, look, or soon to be boiling water, but it hasn't been salted. So we're gonna do that. I have some kosher salt. I got this at Dollar Tree. Works just fine. I have a bigger thing, but this is something. I'm going to salt the snot out of this, but this is just something where I can refill and keep it in my cupboard and not have a giant thing in there of salt. So here is some rotini that I'm going to throw in there, and you want this just shy of al dente, because it will get mushy. And with it being gluten-free gets mushy. So it's boiling again. And this says to go for 8 minutes. I'm actually going to put it in for 6 and use my handy dandy kitchen timer. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm using the residual heat from that pan, which there's plenty of. And I'm going to mix everything together. So I have some spaghetti sauce that I've made from tomatoes in my garden. And now I'm wearing spaghetti sauce that I've made from tomatoes in my garden. And my husband did me a favor, and my husband did a favor for me, and he browned the meat that I'll be using in this. And then the rest of that's going to go for sloppy joes later in the week. So we'll mix that together. Actually, I'm probably going to... It's still a little frozen, so I'm probably going to put that all together in the pan and warm it. So I also have some cottage cheese that I thought, hey, it's a perfect way to use it. And I don't know if you go to Costco, but they got these. They're like $7 for like 30, but this will work just fine. So while this is heating up, I'm going to get this together. So what I'm going to do to prepare this pan, I am going to use a lot of spray. Probably totally unhealthy. You know what? It makes it easier. This way, things don't stick. While the sauce is still doing its thing, I am going to just take the ground beef and bag it. I do have to label it. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is take a little bit of the sauce and layer it in, because that helps things from sticking. And you know you're going to use it anyway, so that works out. The next thing I'll do is throw in the pasta that has been drained and cooling, because we use the same pan. And I just used rotini, but you could use penne, whatever you have on hand. And give that a good stir. This, looking at it now, it might be 2 freezer meals. Goodness, that's a lot of food. Cool. And then I have some cottage cheese. If you have it, score. It's a great way to use it up. There we go. Mix it all together. Then put it in the pan. It's easier to do when I have someone to do the lifting for me, but that's not going to work because the hubs just left. And I'm just going to fill that about halfway full, and then I have a feeling that this will be a second meal also. we are able to make 2 of the pasta bakes. I do have my shredded cheese. I'm just gonna eyeball it and throw half on one, half on the other. And this is mozzarella, it's because I had it. Otherwise, I would have used whatever I had. So the very last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take foil for each one. And years ago, I worked at a Fazoli's, and I learned you don't want to have, there's 2 sides to foil. There's the shiny side, there's the kind of duller side. You want the shiny side going towards the food. But what I'm going to do is also something else I learned at Fazoli's. I'm going to spray my foil so that way it doesn't stick. Last thing I had to do was label. I had forgotten to do that on the pasta bakes, but we have made 5 freezer meals relatively quickly, about an hour, and that's going to give us like 10 days worth of food, or dinners at least, and a lunch. Pretty cool, don't you think?